Hello!
By the power of Grayskull, he certainly had some power, and he was He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, which meant he ran around and punched things a lot. And his friends were called the Masters of the Universe, which in hindsight is a really arrogant, overblown, and extremely difficult to back up name. But hey, it was the 80s, what do you expect? Yes, the 80s when I was young, and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was the coolest thing ever. Had a toy line and a cartoon, the cartoon you may well have heard of. If not, go and look it up. I can't explain the whole thing here, but basically it was sort of standard action adventure-y sort of fare, some quite interesting plots, suffered heavily from repeated use of animation for cheapness and the fact that there was only a very small number of people doing all the different voices, which stood out a country mile. Anyway, we're here to talk about toys. Look, it's Skeletor, evil scourge of Eternia. Look, he's being evil. Always liked that head sculpt, sort of weird smile to it and the coloration. Anyway, this pretty much shows you what a typical He-Man figure looks like. I unfortunately don't have a He-Man figure for some reason, so you'll just have to make do with evil blue Skeletor here. Look, here's Zodak, the Cosmic Enforcer, whatever the fuck that means. You may notice that they have the same legs and arms and weird sort of loincloth piece, and in fact the only difference between them are the heads and the fact that Zodak has been given a hairier back for some reason, which is seriously going to put off the women he meets on the dating sites. Basically, yeah, He-Man was a bit of a sod as a toy line for reusing parts for cheapness. There were a lot of characters using these same arms and things. Anyway, bugger off you two. We need to look at a fairly generic one. This, in fact, being Manatarms, who has exactly the same body as He-Man, just he's gone green for some reason. Also, a really weird, miserable potato face. In the cartoon, he had a moustache and looked far more normal. Anyway, this is what we want to point out to show you the important parts of He-Man figures and what made them so distinctive. Number 1, slightly tiny weird legs in that sort of crouching pose. 2, the hand that holds weapons has its thumb up in the air. 3, other hand has splayed fingers. And 4, you may not have noticed, but they're quite muscly, all these people. To put it mildly, muscly. In fact, it looks like every fucking cell in their body has been injected with steroids from the world's biggest syringe. I mean, seriously, they must spend all day on Eternia just fucking doing exercises, and think how big the gyms must be on that planet. Anyway, the point is we're looking at fake He-Man figures, for He-Man was super popular. And that means the fakes came rolling in, so many that I haven't even been able to track down hardly any of these fake figures as to what they actually are, were, or could have been. Anyway, let's start with this jolly entity. Let's have a look at that face. And the way his neck doesn't really exist, and he's balding and strange. Yep, this is quite clearly a rip-off. We've got the thumb, we've got the fingers, we've got the weird little legs, even more weird if anything. It's made out of very solid plastic, it does have the same articulation. And basically, I would have liked to have seen this with the accessories to see exactly how rippy-offy it is. But it does make me wonder, who designed these head sculpts? Who said, you know what we need to attract the children to buy our cheap knockoffs? We need, like, this middle-aged guy whose face seems to be melting a bit. He looks a bit pissed off, he's balding, and he's got really pointy ears that he's put lipstick on. Perfect, yes. Rush it into production. And indeed they did. Now you go stand over there and stop frightening me. Now the next figure I think is based on Prince Adam. Now Prince Adam was He-Man's real name, so to speak. Basically he was Prince Adam and he held off his magic sword and said, by the power of Grayskull, and then he shot his cat or something, I can't remember. But the fact is that made him transform into He-Man. So Prince Adam was exactly the same as He-Man, but he wore a pink vest. And for some reason nobody noticed they were the same person. I mean, people moan about Superman taking his glasses off. He didn't even have frickin' glasses. Anyway, that brings us along to this figure. See, like He-Man, but in a pink vest. Now this is from a range apparently called Combo Wrestling Champions or something like that. It's one of the few ones I've managed to track down. And as you can see, looks very He-Man-y again. Very similar to the last one, actually. In fact, I think they may be from the same range, I would have said. But it's the face that... Get out! Get out! Sorry, there's some off-camera action there. The person in the room hadn't actually seen the face of this one before, I don't think. Just, yeah, caught it there and, yes, fell into hysterics. Slightly understandably. Basically, it's like He-Man with the long hair, except he's done like a massive comb-over thing, his eyebrows have gone mental, and now he's choking to death on some fucking tennis balls that he's rammed full in his mouth. What the hell is going on? What, is it supposed to be like a cat creature? It just hasn't come off properly. It looks like he's got the world's worst case of mumps. It's, that horrifying... a story, I don't know if you read it on the internet, of some sort of Korean lady who got obsessed with plastic surgery and stuff and started injecting her own face with cooking oil. She ended up looking, well, worse than this actually, but there's definitely something going on. I think it's the look in his eyes. That's the perfect angle. There we are. Oh my goodness, it's just occurred to me what's going on. Look, he's about to be sick. That's what it is. He's about to vomit and he's holding it in. Marvellous. Thank you, false Prince Adam. You stand over there with your other heavy rubber friend. And I'll bring in what I was convinced was a Galaxy Warrior, which was indeed a rip-off of He-Man, funnily enough. It's got legs that don't move, arms that do, and looks like the sort of usual deal, but with quite an amusing Chinese dragon-style head thing going on. I'm pretty sure this is a Galaxy Warrior, but I looked through all the reference material I could find, and nobody seemed to have ever seen this one before, so maybe it isn't. Maybe it's a rip-off of Galaxy Warriors, a knockoff of a knockoff. It's a distinct possibility. There was another set called the Warrior Beasts that were quite popular, but they were different to this, I think. But they did have heads of animals, like, you know, ridiculous stereotypical dragons that don't really fit on the body and make it look a bit odd. Nice shade of orange, though. That might end up on the shelf of interesting items later. You go off over there. And now I'm going to bring on one of my personal favourites. Tell you what else was popular in the 80s. Trolls. You know, those little dolls with the big hair. And for some reason, people were trying to make different sort of versions of these trolls that boys would be interested in, like Troll Warriors and Troll Force and Stone Protectors and stuff. And one company decided to mix the rip-off He-Man body with the troll head, giving us this... Jump cut. Sorry about that. I hadn't seen the face of this one for probably a good few months since I bought it, and it took me somewhat by surprise. No excuse, I was the only one in the room at the time. But oh man, beyond perfection. Yep, they've got the rip-off He-Man body, you've got the open hand and the pointy thumb and the tiny legs. But they've gone for this bizarre superhero body with spotted boots, like a space invader on his chest or something in that face. Oh, that face. There we are, there's your new wallpaper. What is going on? He just looks like he's walked in on his mother having sex with Hitler or something. Or maybe he's making this noise. Oh, we may never know. But if you thought the bulging eyes on fake Prince Adam back there were good, he's got nothing on Troll Boy here. I think this does show why the Troll crossover figures never worked, because the people who made them were fucking mental. Oh, dearie me, that's bringing me endless joy. That really is. Wonder what his story is, or what toy line he's from, or what. I've got no idea. It's actually quite well made, the figure. It's not far off He-Man quality. Just that the face is a little bit inexplicable. Anyway, I'm gonna face you. Oh my god, I've just got it. Internet Troll. They were seeing the future. Look, this is the stereotypical internet troll, the king of the internet trolls. Look, he's got the like Space Invader stuff on there to imply to the technology, and he's got the vacant stare in the eyes and the slightly stupid anger and the constantly open mouth. There he is. It's this creature which types all the abuse into YouTube comments. There we are. You go stay over there and face away and never speak again. Oh my goodness. Right. Well, they don't stop coming yet. Sorry. I don't think I'll ever quite get over that troll face. Here is what is basically a big lump of rubber. It's not as faithful as the others. You haven't got the hands or anything, and it's got sort of non-booted, weird, tigery feet. But you can see it's clearly a rip-off of the same sort of mould. But it's just literally one lump of solid rubber, like a dog toy. I mean, you can even see the bit in the back. Seriously, I've got to get rid of that. The thing in the back of the head there with the injected the rubber into the mould. And it's got this kind of scary bodybuilder Tony the Tiger thing going on. They're grr, eat. which I'm pretty sure is what it says on boxes of Frosties. It's something I like about it. I think it's the way he looks like he's coming out of a pub, totally bevied up and extremely angry and just waving his fist. Tiger bloke, you know. There we are. I'm just wondering how long it'll take to focus on this. It doesn't want to. Ah, there we are. There is the face in all its beauty. Tigery. Right, you go sit over there, mate. Meanwhile, here's the last figure, which doesn't actually have anything directly to do with He-Man or anything at all. It's like a naked Native American or something. I don't know. It came with one of the other figures, and I've got no idea which action figure range it came from. I went all the way through Tomart's Prize Guide to Action Figure Collectibles, and I couldn't find him anywhere. So here he is. He's a big, naked man, and his face looks like this. He looks a bit kind of drugged up, actually, or maybe dead. Maybe it's a Weekend at Bernie's type scenario, and he's being dragged around as an embalmed corpse. Who can say? But if anyone can put any light on this, I think it must be a rip-off figure, though, because it's got, look, the thumb and the fingers of the old He-Man thing, although the legs are very different. It doesn't feel particularly well made either, and, you know, slightly blobby, rubbery head, so, yeah, it's probably just some sort of cheap knockoff of something. And the legs don't move. But hey, if anybody can shed any light, please do. Here's an actual He-Man figure. I've got another couple knocking around. May as well show them to you at the end. Man-E Faces. Yes, that's actually his name. Man-E Faces. Look. He's like some sort of superhero man. Oh no, now he's a robot with a weird face. And now he's an evil monster. I really loved this figure when I was little. I think it was just the novelty of the spinny face. And also it was a He-Man figure that actually had proper custom arms and a different body. So hey, that was a novelty in itself. I don't know if I've got any more. Oh yes I have. Whiplash! And a quite amusing face for a proper He-Man figure there. God knows how he eats anything without lacerating his own nose, but there we go. And the idea behind Whiplash was he's got a tail. So he can knock other figures over with his big, rubbery tail. Hey! Quite a nice action feature, actually. And after all these years, still hasn't fallen to pieces, so must be pretty decent. Leech. They brought in something called the Evil Horde at one stage as like a second group of bad guys to just fight everybody. I think they were mainly villains of She-Ra, the like girl version of He-Man. It's very confusing. But yeah, good old Leech. They were very keen on suction cups for something when they designed him. Two crappy ones on the hands, but this really powerful suction cup for his face. We can actually draw the air out of it with that, so it sticks to almost anything. Really brilliant little toy, that. Well done. You go sit over there for being cool. And the last one. Tell you what, by the end of the line, things were getting a bit strange. And here's Spout, who I have used in a recent video. He shoots water out of his nose. And yeah, he's the Eternian fireman. And I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I think they just got beyond desperate to the point of insanity at this stage. But hey, it's a little something to keep people, and it freaks me out, to be perfectly honest with you. I can only think of two other He-Man toys that squirted water: Dragon Blaster Skeletor and Cobra Khan, off the top of my head. Was there another? We may never know. Sit down there, my friend. And there we are. That are some rip-offs of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And if you want to know what my favourite figure is, it's a toss-up between Roboto and Scareglow. Anyway, I don't think anything else needs to be said, really, does it? This guy needs a regular feature, Internet Troll, here where he can just come on and spout bile in the middle of a video. I just want to use his face on everything, including my tombstone.